There is a doctrine called the Unitary Executive Theory. It appears in no statute you've ever read, and it has operated as functional law since 1926, when the Supreme Court first let a president fire an official Congress had explicitly tried to protect. No bill created this doctrine. No committee debated it in public. It lives in judicial opinions, executive branch memos, and Justice Department legal reasoning passed down for a century. By the end of this, you'll understand why the person sitting in the Oval Office has more control over the machinery of government than any law on paper actually says, and why that control cannot be voted away. Here's what it actually is in plain terms. The theory says the president alone holds the executive power, all of it undivided. Every agency head, every inspector general, every regulator technically works for one person. Not Congress, not the public, one office. It sounds obvious. It isn't. For most of American history, Congress built agencies specifically designed to operate outside a president's direct control, commissions with fixed terms, officials who couldn't be fired without cause. The Unitary Executive Theory exists to dismantle that wall, one ruling at a time. It didn't start as theory. It started as a fight over one firing. In 1920, President Wilson removed a postmaster without asking Congress's permission, even though a federal statute said he needed the Senate's consent. The postmaster sued. In 1926, the Supreme Court ruled for the president, Myers versus United States, and planted the seed. Notice what happened. No amendment passed, no law was written. A dispute over one male official became precedent for how much power every future president holds over the entire executive branch. That's the mechanism. It grows through litigation, not legislation. Each ruling adds another brick, and no voter ever sees the wall being built until it's already load-bearing. Here's the complication. This power isn't static, it's actively expanding right now through the same channel that built it. The Supreme Court has spent the last several years chipping away at the agencies Congress insulated from direct presidential control. Independent commissions that regulate labor disputes, consumer protection, communications, bodies designed so a president couldn't fire their leadership on a whim, are being re-examined case by case. Each new ruling doesn't just resolve one dispute. It quietly rewrites how much authority sits in a single office, and it does so without a single new law ever being passed. Now here's what this actually means for you. Somewhere in the federal government right now sits an inspector general, the person whose entire job is investigating fraud and abuse inside an agency, sometimes investigating the very officials appointed above them. Statutes say these watchdogs need cause to be removed. The Unitary Executive Theory says otherwise. If they answer to the president can remove them for any reason or no reason at all. In 2020, over a dozen inspectors general were removed within months across multiple agencies. No court fully blocked it. This is not hypothetical. This is the person auditing whether your tax dollars were stolen, and their job security depends on a legal theory you were never asked to approve. And remember, no one voted for this. Not the theory, not its expansion, not the specific rulings that keep feeding it. It grew inside opinions written by 9 appointed judges, interpreting 3 words in Article 2, executive power, that the Constitution never defined. And here's the part that should actually worry you: none of this is illegal. It's completely legal. That's the design. The theory doesn't operate through some hidden back channel. It operates through the ordinary, visible mechanism of judicial review, the same courts you'd appeal to if you thought this was wrong. That's exactly why it cannot be repealed. You can't vote it out because it was never voted in. There's no bill to reverse, no agency rule to challenge in the normal sense. It exists as constitutional interpretation, and constitutional interpretation only changes when the Supreme Court changes its mind, or when a new case reaches 9 people who weren't elected by you. Congress can pass a law tomorrow trying to protect an agency, and the theory simply waits for the next lawsuit to test whether that law survives contact with Article 2. It is structurally immune to the ballot box by design, because the people who expand it answer to no election cycle at all. Think about what that tells you about every other rule you assume Congress controls. If the actual boundaries of presidential power were rewritten by 9 unelected judges over a century, without one law changing, what else operates that way? What other doctrine, sitting quietly in case law right now, is already deciding something about your life that you'd swear was settled by a vote? Somewhere, a ruling is being drafted that will expand this again. You won't hear about it until it's already precedent.